Kyocera R-661. This might be my in-game receiver. Let's talk about it. This guy has 70 watts per channel, 0.02 total harmonic distortion, has a MOSFET driver stage, toroidal transformers. It also has a moving magnet and moving coil phono stage, and it has pre-out main in. So if you want to set this guy up as just a preamplifier, you can do that. Man, I really love this receiver. One thing that I really like about it is a little bit of its party trick, parametric tone controls. Now, parametric tone controls, if you don't know what those are, they set themselves apart from normal tone controls because you can set what frequency you want the tone control to be turned up at. And so what do I mean by that? Well, normal tone controls, you have bass and treble. And if you turn the bass up, you're turning up the very low end of the bass. And sometimes that can muddy up your music. Whereas with a parametric tone control, you decide what frequency of the bass that you want to increase. If you want to increase more of the mid bass and not the low end, you can choose that. And what that allows is, it allows you to get more of a feel with drums. They're gonna have more of an impact, but it's not gonna muddy up the rest of your music. That's really awesome. I didn't know I needed that until I had it. Also, what this kind of creates with this receiver is the ability to color it. You can really make this receiver however you want it. You know, I kept comparing this to my last receiver, which was a Harman Kardon HK3380. And there's definitely a lot of differences. One thing this receiver does really well is it reproduces instruments very authentically. They sound like the true instruments. And that's one thing that I feel like I was missing a little bit with my last receiver. That receiver could party, and it did really good with classic rock. And I really didn't see any pitfalls of that receiver or any downsides until I got this one. One thing that I really noticed recreation of authentic sounding instruments was in jazz. And I'm just starting to kind of dive into jazz. But man, this is a good receiver to dive into jazz with. Wow, I didn't think I liked jazz. This receiver may have made me like jazz. Some of the other differences between it and the Harman Kardon, I thought the Harman was going to have a lot more power. It's rated at, I believe, 85 watts per channel, but everybody always says with Harman is they're very true with their watts per channel. You know, they're not going to inflate those numbers, but this Kyocera does not feel like it has any less power. It honestly can even feel like it has a little bit more headroom, which brings me to the imaging of this receiver. It images really well. One song that I like to test out the imaging on a lot of my receivers is All Night Long by Lionel Richie. There's a specific part in that song, I want to say it's about 1 minute and 50 seconds in, and there's this instrument that I still don't know what the name of it is. If somebody knows, comment below. But it makes this rainbow effect, and the Kyocera did it perfectly. I mean, it's such a wide rainbow. That's the other thing I was going to say about this receiver is the sound stage is a lot wider than my Harman was. I feel like the instruments are being placed where they're supposed to be placed.
Oh, it's right there.
There's more separation between the instruments and in layers of songs. Well, that's another thing to bring up. The transients response to this receiver is amazing. I think back to songs like Summer of Love by Lanyo. That's one that I listened to in my reaction. And I was really impressed with how this receiver could keep up with that beat and the layers within that beat. You know, that's a UK garage beat song. And those tend to be very fast and high pace, I guess you could say. And yeah, it kept up no problem. A lot of the time I call UK garage music kind of controlled chaos. That's what this receiver is really good at, controlled chaos. When you have a song with multiple layers and a lot going on, this thing really strips it down and you can hear each part individually.
I'm hearing detail I haven't heard before.
Some other things about the imaging, there's one part in the song Better Off Alone by Alice DJ, where the music just seems like it just keeps elevating and rising higher and higher.
What? It felt like it was so old, like I was at an amphitheater.
There was a certain part in that song where I felt like the roof opened up. And with the Kyocera, it didn't seem like there was an end. It just kept going and kept going and kept going. It went through the roof. Oh, and back to the Kyocera reproducing realistic sounds. Not only is it in instruments, but there was a couple parts in Lose Yourself to Dance by Daft Punk. Man, there was a clap that sounded like it was coming straight from a crowd. I think I even said that.
That clap sounds like it's coming from a crowd. Wow.
But man, that was another one that the Kyocera really got me, with something that sounded so realistic. This receiver is amazing. I don't know what else to say about it. I don't want to talk about specs or stats because I'm not really a spec or stats guy. I go off of what I hear, and I love what I hear from this thing. It's freaking awesome. Yeah, it just really surprised me. So there should be more videos to come about the Kyocera soon. If you guys have any questions, comment down below. I'll try to answer them. Maybe do another video on this guy after I've lived with it for a bit. It's kind of just my first initial reactions. I've had it for a little over a week now. But man, it's awesome. No complaints at all. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I'll let you know what I keep thinking of this guy, and maybe do an update video. Yeah, I don't know. God, that thing is awesome, man.